One of my favorite Easter eggs in Harry Potter exists in The Prisoner of Azkaban. The movie introduces two amazing magical objects, the Time Turner and the Marauders Map, which is the subject of today's video. The map is an extremely important object in the series, but there are a few things about it that don't make a whole lot of sense and present some interesting questions. Like, what was Newt Scamander doing in the map? Or how did Fred and George Weasley figure out the password of the map? And also maybe one of the biggest plot holes in The Prisoner of Azkaban. How come Fred and George never noticed Peter Pettigrew roaming Hogwarts disguised himself as Ron Spit Scabbers? How couldn't they see that their brother was sleeping with another man for years? So we'll dive into it and discuss every possibility of this theory. But first, what was the reason behind creating the Marauders Map in the first place? James, Sirius and Peter became unregistered Animagi so that they could keep their friend Lupin company without harm to themselves. The four boys were able to explore the castle grounds by night undetected. The map they created during their time at Hogwarts appears to be a blank piece of parchment unless activated. The map was created so it can help them avoid Filch or Mrs. Norris while sneaking around Hogwarts. The masterpiece of a map was confiscated in Sirius, James, Remus and Peter's final year, and none of them were able to steal it back from Filch. Their priorities changed in their final months at school, becoming far more serious and focused on the world beyond Hogwarts, where Lord Voldemort was successfully rising to power. All four of the map's creators would surely be inducted into the organization headed by Albus Dumbledore, the Order of Phoenix, and the map of their old school, no matter how ingenious, would no longer be of use to them except as a piece of the past. And here the map comes to the possession of Fred and George. Fred and George Weasley stole the map from Filch's office in their first year at Hogwarts. They had been taken to his office for letting off a dank bomb. The twins then stole the map from the office. They had to experiment with it in order to learn how to get it to work. But here lies the question, how did Fred and George figure out the password of the map? How did they make it work? I think people who created the map were hoping for someone to carry on the legacy. As long as they wouldn't use it anymore as they departed from Hogwarts, they wanted someone to use their success as they did before. So the map presented itself to Fred and George, and probably the map told them its secrets and how to use it along with the password itself, which is the only way how you can activate the map. After all, this is what the map is made of, getting past to future mischief makers so the legacy can live on. Now here we reach the question this whole video is all about. Why didn't Fred and George notice Peter Pettigrew on the map? They had the Marauders Map in their first year at Hogwarts. They were using the map for years and still not noticing this suspicious thing. There are two possibilities. The first one is that the twins didn't notice Peter because they weren't looking for him or paying any attention to where Ron is, and also the fact that Hogwarts is so big. Fred and George didn't even know who Peter Pettigrew was, even if they see his name on the map. And that's another reason why the name didn't grab their attention. But the next possibility is what makes more sense. Before diving into it, I just want to clarify something. In the film, Harry saw Peter's name in the Marauders Map, but in the book, he didn't. Only Lupin did. So this is a big difference and it would change the theory if we consider what happened in the film as canon. So we're just gonna focus on the book, where Lupin is the only one who saw Peter's name. The theory is as follows. The Marauders James, Sirius, Lupin and Remus don't show up in the map. Now this sounds a bit no sense, because I just mentioned that Lupin saw Peter on the map. But what I try to mean is the Marauders are invisible on the map if someone else, not them, is using the map. Now this is a bit confusing, but I'll make it easy for you. If Fred and George are using the map, and Peter in his Animagus form is beside him, they wouldn't see him in the map. But if it's Lupin instead of the twins, he would see Peter for sure. If you think about it, this is the whole point of the map. The four boys didn't want anyone to know where they are. That's why they made themselves invisible in the map. In case if somebody else, especially Filch, got his hand on it, he at least wouldn't know where they are. And the reason why the Marauders can see themselves in the map like Lupin did see Peter is because they wanted to track the location of each other if they're lost or in time of need. The definition of the Marauders Map on Pottermore is as follows. The magic used in the map's creation is advanced and impressive. It includes the Homunculus Charm, enabling the possessor of the map to track the movement of every person in the castle. It says every person, so maybe the map shows only humans and not animals. In fact, no animal was seen on the map at all. The best example is Mrs. Norris. In The Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry wasn't able to see Mrs. Norris on the map, although she was standing right beside him. So in conclusion, the map was created so we can only reveal witches and wizards in their human form at Hogwarts, and no one can see the four Marauders on the map except themselves. And that explains why Fred and George Weasley never saw Peter Pettigrew on the Marauders map. That was all for today's video. What do you guys think of the theory? Please comment down below your thoughts and ideas. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. Until next time, I'll see you guys soon.